Hey guys, what I do? It's your boy Supreme here to God. Now listen. Today we're talking about James Lee and we're talking about Mr. Chairman Choi. Now obviously there was a theory that I even believed in and a lot of people believed in that Chairman Choi and James Lee are the same person. Or, if you don't want to call him James Lee, DG. Yeah, DG. But the thing is, do not. In this chapter, James Lee pulls up and says, I'm going to kill you. Because remember, he said earlier, like chapters and chapters ago, that Charles has his weakness, right? And it's something to do with them killing Gapyeong King. And then as a result, Gapyeong Kim. And as a result, that's the reason why James Lee kind of held a grudge on him because he had to go do all of these things in order to, prevent Charles from taking advantage of him. Which again, James Lee, who has been with Charles probably the longest, Gun and Gu and James both betrayed Charles. So why is Gun so hell bent on dying for him? So this is an insane thing. Maybe Gun knows more about the two bodies than everybody else. Maybe Gun has the two bodies. Maybe this is Gun's second body because, like we just said, he just in this fight against Gu, he just went unconscious mode and he's about to be at his strongest that we've ever seen him. And again, if we remember the fight with when he was fighting Johan, he told Johan like, "Oh, if I go unconscious, it wouldn't be fun." And I in that video when I talked about it, the fight with Johan, I mentioned how I don't feel like he was going to lose there. I feel like he might have became unconscious, and which behold, lo and behold, it became true. He can become unconscious because yes, his eyes go black, but he's never like gone unconscious mode, which should be even stronger because we see for Daniel, he goes unconscious and he gets super strong. Now we have Gun and Daniel about to fight. No, sorry, with Gu and James Lee about to fight unconscious beings, right? And we know how strong Daniel is when he's unconscious. We've never seen Gun be unconscious in the first place. So then are we saying that Gun has to be the one with the second body? And did he abandon his original body to always being his second body? It's very hard to gauge here because we've never seen regular people be unconscious powerful apart from Johan who just copies it, but he's still fully conscious, right? But he lets his body control him. And again, we've never seen Gu have any sort of awakening, unlike Gun and everybody else. Jake, all of these guys have awakenings. I think Jake is the only person that can probably compete with an unconscious being when he goes into his Gapyeong Kim mode, which we've only seen him do once and very briefly. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the story is with this unconscious powers that these guys just seem to muster out of thin air. I'm very excited to know what's going to happen. But what do you guys think here? Because I think James Lee not being Charles is very interesting. Then what does Charles know about the two body? Then does it have to be Gun? Because Gun can do the same unconsciousness that Daniel can. In fact, he was saying he was having fun while fighting unconscious Daniel, right? UI Daniel. He was fighting UI Daniel, and Gun said he was having fun until Daniel just passed out. And he had his arm broken, but Gun at that point hadn't even gone unconscious. He just had a broken arm, which we know doesn't really deter him that much, as we saw him fight everybody have a broken arm, and he was like cut up, beat up, all sorts of, and he was still going, and he still didn't even get to his strongest point, which is absolutely insane, which just shows Gun how strong Gun is. And when I said Gun was the strongest, somebody in the comment section was going, "Oh, Gun is not the strongest." He's not the strongest ever, but I mean, in our story right now, he is the person that we've seen reach the highest peak, right? So that's what I mean when I say he's the strongest. He's the strongest person we've seen in terms of like peak, right? Him, James Lee, and I know there's people in other PTJ mangas and webtoons, but I don't care because I'm not talking about that story. I'm specifically talking about Lookism. It'd be unfair for me to say Gun versus people in what's that thing called, How to Fight. He'd massacre pretty much everybody we've met there so far, apart from maybe your one's father, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really fair to cross. I know they're in the same verse, but it's not really fair to do that. I'm not when I talk about Lookism specifically. If I say the strongest, I say anything, it's to do with only Lookism. Okay. Now I do know that guy that Gu drew with, stalemated with. Now Gu went allegedly all out, and they stalemated after one attack. Gun here is completely injured, beat up, massacred, and now he's unconscious and he's about to fight Gu. So if Gun can defeat Gu here, then Gun has to be stronger than said opponent, right? And that said opponent, it's supposed to be the strongest person in PTJ, at least in his prime, and he's not in his prime anymore. That's the guy with the underwear. I can't remember his name. He's the leader of the White Tiger Association. But yeah, so that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think. The chapter was amazing. I think the best chapter in the webtoon so far, I'd say, especially as of late. And yeah, that's what I think. What you guys think? Let me know. It's been your boy, Supreme Shady God. Subscribe. I'm out.